Greetings and welcome to the first episode of season two, coming to you from the Thought Exchange Cafe, where we bring you ordinary community people doing extraordinary things to bring about awareness and strength within their own community, as well as where we bring you our oracles, those folks that you might call retired or elderly. And why is that? Just like Neo from the movie The Matrix, which I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with. Neo had to go and locate the oracle in order to get a better direction as to where to go and what his true power was. He had to go and find that oracle in order to get a better comprehension, a better understanding of who he was and what was inside of him. What was, now keep in mind when I say inside, within, what was within him. We're also going to be bringing you some of our young, talented, vibrant youth and young adults from the community just as well who are doing some extraordinary things in some tough times. Because right now it's not easy for our youth population right now with everything that's going on and all the technology and all those things that are being pushed upon them. So we have to be we as adults, we as that that those folks that we've paved the way. We've been here for quite a while. There are some things that we have experienced that they have not experienced. However, they have and are having their own experiences. And as leaders and teachers, we have to sometime slow down and listen to the student. And in listening to the student, we begin to understand how to guide, how to engage, and how to direct the student in the path of learning. There's a quote that says, "The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding." How do we how do we in 2026, and let me first off start saying by saying happy new year. Happy new year. We made it through 2025 and this is now 2026, the start of a new year, the start of new thoughts, a new direction. Some folks may have made some New Year's resolutions, and some folks just don't make New Year's resolutions because they understand that it's easy to make a New Year's resolution and start out strong, but then you end up weak. And when you don't live up to that New Year's resolution, it also carries with it some hurt, some doubt, and a whole lot of other things that are not really good for an individual within. So my name is Tony Davis, and I'll be your host for the first episode of 2026, coming to you from the Thought Exchange Cafe. Tonight's episode is just titled Happy New Year because there are so many things that are going on in society today. There's so many things that are happening around the world today. And there are a lot of things that are happening that are affecting us as a people. There are some folks that think that it's not affecting them. And there are some folks that it's not affecting them. It's helping them. Yes, that is true. It's helping them. And I don't want to get into division because the Thought Exchange Cafe is not about division. The Thought Exchange Cafe is about sharing positive thoughts. The Thought Exchange is about growing, and coming to a better way of living this thing that we call life, right? Because life is an amazing life is amazing, even with the ups and downs that we face as a society, right? Everyone, there's no one on this planet who have not felt pain. There's no one on this planet that is immune to pain. Okay. If you are human, you're going to feel pain. I want to read you a quote by Buddha. Endurance is one of the most difficult disciplines, but it is the one who endures that the final victory comes. Now, that could encompass quite a few things. And from my perspective, what is enduring? Enduring is pushing through those hard times. Enduring is pushing through the pain. There's a professional cyclist. There's a professional cyclist. What's the cyclist's name? What's the cyclist's name? So yeah, this is not scripted. So I Greg LeMond. Greg LeMond. Greg LeMond has a quote, and the quote says that pain is only temporary and quitting lasts forever. So, in saying that, I want to let you know that this this new year, not up and coming, the new year that we're in right now, this is a year of excitement. This is a year that you have another year to do something different with. You have another year to begin to truly chase your dreams, acquire those things that you've been seeking, that you've been looking for, that you've desired. And if you're still here and you're breathing, then you have an opportunity to pursue those things. But you also have an opportunity to attract those things to you. But you have to give yourself a chance. You have to give yourself the opportunity to do so. And one thing that I had to find for myself, or I had to start doing, that I'm going to do more of in 2026, but I'm going to do it 1% more each and every day. I'm not going to make no big extravagant plans or ideas and say I'm going to go and conquer the world. No, or I'm going to go and climb the highest mountain. No, I can't do none of that without practice. I can't do none of that without a proper mindset or proper vision, right? I can have all the ideas in the world, right? But having an idea and then moving forward on that idea are two different things. It's just like motivation and inspiration. Motivation is like the wind. Motivation sometimes it gets you off your couch, it gets you out of your bed from watching TV. But as soon as you get to the bathroom, that motivation wane. And next thing you know, you're headed back to the bed because it's warm and it's comfortable. And that's where the reasoning mind pops in and says, hey man, you can do that tomorrow. And guess what? Those things that you've been wanting to do, you was motivated to do it first, but now you're not motivated. Next thing you know, you're waiting for motivation to hit again, and it's a year later. It's a year later. This year, 2026, and I'm just gonna keep it in a day. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep it in a day because I'm one of those individuals that I know I can make all these extravagant plans. I can have all these ideas about what it is that I want to do and how am I going to do it. And then I can get started and end up weak. And then by doing that, I start something else. Don't finish, start something else. Don't finish, start something else. Don't finish. And then I spread it myself too thin and I didn't complete nothing. I'm busy. Yeah. But did I complete anything? No, no. So allowing inspiration to take over. And what is inspiration? Inspiration is that thing that you don't need to be on fire, right? You don't need somebody to light your fire when you think about it, because the fire, that flame just automatically poof, and it's hot. And it can be 0 degrees, but within you, it is hot. That's inspiration. Get you up, get you moving, right? You don't need nobody to say to you, or you don't need to say to yourself, I need to do this. No. And then making choices, right? Making choices. A choice, there's another quote that says, choice, not chance, determines your destiny. And each and every one of us have our own destiny. My destiny is not your destiny. Your destiny is not mine. Just like family and friends, we can be the best of friends, but yet still, your destiny is not mine because your time is not mine. Once again, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. And I'm not here to I'm not here to just be here, because this is not entertainment. This is edutainment. I heard someone talk about entertainment just recently, and it kind of broke it down a little bit like this. Enter, enter. Something is entering the mind. Something is entering inside of the head. Enter. And mint means mind. So it's entering the mind, entertainment. And what do we do when we get entertained or we want to be entertained? What is that all about? It's about, okay, we're gonna go have a good time. We're going to focus on what's in front of us. So whatever that is that you're entertaining yourself with, it has your mind. It has control of your mind. And it's either going to do a couple of things. It's either going to arouse you and release that dopamine, or either is going to release that cortisol, that stress hormone. It all depends on what you decide to allow yourself to be entertained with. Here at the Thought Exchange Cafe, I would like to bring you, or we, because in the audience, we're going to have, once again, in the audience, we're going to have different audiences coming. We're going to have men and women of all ages, from different fields, from different backgrounds, but the ordinary people, just like myself and you. And we're going to talk about different ideas and different strategies and how to cope in some difficult times. And we're also going to talk about our own life stories, because we all have a story. There's not one person walking that does not have a story. We all have a story. And what I found out is that my story and the things that I went through in life, a lot of those things I went through, they were not for me. They were for that next person that was going to be going through something, but don't know how to get through it. Don't know how to develop coping mechanisms in order to free themselves from whatever that is. And the universe has a way of putting you in someone's path or putting them in your path. The universal powers are real, very real. And if you don't believe in the universal powers, then that's your choice. But I for one, I believe in the universal powers. I believe in the God of creation. I believe in night and day. I believe in a high tide and a low tide. Why? Because it's those things right in front of us. And I had to, for one, myself, I had to slow down and stop paying attention to those things that were right in front of me because I allowed myself to be so busy that I couldn't even enjoy a sunrise or a sunset. And if you, I urge you to go back and check out season one of the Thought Exchange Cafe, where last season, 2025, we started in October and we did pretty good. We did pretty good because we put out quite a few. We put out quite a few shows. This year in 2026, I would like to bring you content on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And I'm also asking that the listeners and the viewers, if you have any ideas of any content that you would like to hear, please just put it in your comment. Send it in your comments. And if there is something on one of the shows or one of the episodes that you may hear something that you may disagree with, or you might have a better idea, comment, comment, and no comment will be overlooked or unheard. So, once again, my name is Tony Davis, and I'm your host here at the Thought Exchange Cafe. And I'm looking forward to, because believe this is all new to me too. This is all new to me too. And as I said on one of the previous episodes of 2025, is that I started out doing YouTube videos and TikTok videos. But I also had some long videos, some long content out just as well too. Because I am a professional public speaker certified out of Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I'm the creator of Double MOE Public Speaking Leadership Academy here in Boston, Massachusetts, associated with Lena Park Community Development Center on American Legion Highway in Dorchester. So there's quite a few things that I got going on, but also at the same time, I want to be able to share my experience, strength, and hope with you just as well as you sharing your experience, strength, and hope, because that's saying that each one teach one, each one reach one. That's for real. We in today's environment, we have to begin to help one another because there's too much division as it is amongst people. Just because a person is wearing something different from you doesn't make that person less than you. Just because somebody is driving a nice fancy car doesn't make them better than you. And some of the questions that, they say a closed mouth don't get fed. And the stupidest question is one that you do not ask. And this up and coming year 22, this new year, forgive me for keep saying up and coming. In 2026, don't be afraid to ask a question. And one of them questions might be, what have you done to get to where you are today as a successful individual? And why is that? Because you may that might be your desire to be successful like that other individual. And I'm sure if you ask the question, they're going to answer you because they're going to be happy that you weren't afraid to ask them the question. And you never know who you might meet because we grow through people and projects. And I'll emphasize that. We grow through people and projects. So, in getting ready to end the first episode of 2026 here at the Thought Exchange Cafe, I urge you to come on back for episode number 2. And in episode number 2, we're going to talk a little bit about the brain, the mind, and how the mind functions. Just some small parts. We're not going to go totally in depth. And we're going to talk about this body of ours. This body of ours. It's our body. This is my body. I do not know every bone in my body. Let me say that again. This is my body. I live in this body every day. I wake up, bathe it, feed it, and all those things. And I still don't know every bone in my body. Wow, but it's my body. This is my mind. I think the way I want to think. You ever see somebody with the head movement? I think what I want to think, which is so true. But at the same time, right? Do I know all the regions of my brain? No, I don't. I don't know what the prefrontal cortex, 40% of the brain, the visual lobe, all the way back here. Now, these are these are things that I'm learning about myself because this year for me, part of this year is going to be about inner peace, practicing inner peace on a daily basis, practicing better self awareness. And those are just two of the things because they're very important to me. What's important to you? For you, other than chasing the bag? What's important for you? What's important to you? And we can't too much worry about what's important to other people because if we don't take care of what's important to us first, there's nothing we're going to be able to do for anybody. And another quote that says, and I know everyone, this is a quote that everyone, when your cup runneth over, when your cup runneth over. Someone said to me, don't give of the cup, give of what runneth over the cup, so you will always be full. Wow. Think about that for a moment. Think about that. Now, imagine this. Imagine you have everything it is that you want and that you ever desired. Everything that you wanted, you have now. Everything. And there's nothing else that you desire. What would you do? What would you do? What else would you have to live for? Did you already live your life? You've gotten everything that you desired. Some might say, well, I'm going to enjoy it. But guess what? As human beings, as human beings, we get bored. And the more you have, the less content you become. Now, you might say, well, that's your perspective. And you're right. It is my perspective. But I want to ask you another question. How many times you said you wanted something, and when you got that something, once you got it, that thrill didn't last for long. It faded away, and you needed something else. Matter of fact, I'm not going to say need, but want. Because if your needs are met, housing, food, clothing, a job, a little bit of money, a little bit of security, your needs are met. Your needs are met. Sometimes it's those wants that outweigh our needs. But that's for another episode. That's for another episode. This was just another reintroduction of the Thought Exchange Cafe with your host, Tony Davis. So, once again, I look forward to seeing you again soon. And Happy New Year to you. And I urge you to tune in, support us here at the Thought Exchange Cafe, where, once again, this is not entertainment, this is edutainment. And we're open for different guests. If you want to come on the Thought Exchange Cafe because you have a different thought, you have an idea, and it's positive and it's noteworthy and it's community based, check me out. Check me out. Email me at btctonytouch@gmail.com. I said it again. Email me at btctonytouch@gmail.com or send me your information in a comment and I will definitely get back to you. And once again, it's an open forum and it's a safe space. And I say that again. It's an open forum and it's a safe space. My name is Tony Davis, and thank you for allowing me to be your host this evening on the Thought Exchange Cafe. I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. But in closing, I always talk about books. I'm always going to suggest a book. And here's a book that I believe, from my perspective, is worth reading in today's environment. And it's Angela Davis, Freedom is a Constant Struggle. Ferguson, Palestine, and the Foundations of a Movement. Forwarded by Cornell West. And I'm suggesting this book because when they talk about freedom as a constant struggle, how free are you? Seriously, how free are you? Have you asked yourself that question? You know, what has been the programming? Whose laws and whose rules are we following? What have we allowed to direct us and guide us and lead us? Shape shifting. Shape shifting. Freedom. What is true freedom? What is true freedom? And here's another book, The Kabbalion, The Hermetic Philosophy by the Three Initiates. And I'm reading this book for the second time. And I just want to share a little bit out of it with you. With the master key in his with the master key in his possession, the student may unlock the many doors of the mental and psychic temple of knowledge and enter the same freely and intelligently. The Kabbalion, Hermetic Philosophy by the Three Initiates. and I'll share more out of this on next episode. But if you want to get the book, I don't get anything for sharing these books with you or recommending these books. I don't get no kickbacks. I don't get no publicity for none of that stuff. These are just some books that I'm suggesting that have changed my life and changed my perspective in a way where I'm able to see a lot more clearer. And I'm not talking about the outside world. I'm talking about my inner world. Because what I've learned is that it's my thoughts, it's my decisions and my choices that determine my destiny. Tony Davis coming to you from the Thought Exchange Cafe. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. And once again, I urge you to send in your comments. Take care and Happy New Year.